Yo, y'all remember the Wii U? I'm talking to the other 12 people that owned one and Scott the Waz too, if you're watching.
Game blows.
I love this console, bro, and in its heyday, I knew a grand total of one other person who owned one, and it was my neighbor down the street. I seriously had no one to talk to this console about with or play it with other than my sister or playing Smash Bros with my dad, which was very fire and I am very thankful for. But when I wasn't playing with them, I was watching the horrible ads on TV that made me embarrassed to own a Wii U. Seriously, Nintendo, what the fuck were you thinking? I single-handedly received swirlies on account of owning a Wii U while these were airing on live television. I'm just kidding. I've never received a swirly. Is that a real thing? Seriously, what marketing genius decided that their ad campaign was going to be non-existent kids trying to convince their parents to buy them a Wii U? Okay, I know I went on a little tangent there, but I adore the Wii U, and in this video, I just wanted to ramble a little bit about some games and stuff that I remember very fondly from the Wii U days. If I missed anything, feel free to leave a comment. I try to reply to every single one, but with that, let's get into it. Look at that startup, man. It's a thing of beauty. Oh, and the music, damn. Me and the other 12 people who bought this are so nostalgic right now. Also, y'all remember the long ass load times or right when you would start a game? Okay, that aside, where to begin? This game was a gem, seriously, and while I've seen more talk about it in recent years, I think it is a crime how little this game is talked about. A game that's like a Nintendo theme park with mini games surrounding their various properties that go from having everything to do with the source material to absolutely nothing. There were some dope ass mini games on this thing. I mean, hell, there was a whole Zelda Skyward Sword campaign with motion controls and all. They had this Animal Crossing game, which had absolutely nothing to do with Animal Crossing other than the aesthetic. It was like a cool cops and robbers tag thing. Then they had this Mario game in which Toads chase around a Mario, kind of like tag. It was a good time, I swear. Looking back at some of these games, there were definitely some duds and stuff that I didn't put too much time into as a kid, like Balloon Trip and Yoshi's Fruit Cart. I mean, I guess everything can't be a banger, and that's a-okay. I mean, the Luigi's Mansion and Pikmin games also had no business going this hard. Damn, especially Luigi's Mansion. This was in-depth and fit the theme very well, and I remember having a good time with this with my family. To be honest, I'm just thankful I had family and some friends to play these games with. Shout out my little sister who we ran through the entire Zelda campaign with. GOAT activity, seriously. They always say hindsight is 20/20, and I think that is the most true here. This thing was weird. It wasn't entirely standalone. It had to be used in conjunction with the console. If you walked like 10 feet away, it would start to yell at you. But hey, that 10 feet was enough. Especially if someone wanted to use the TV. I was chilling playing New Super Mario Bros. U on the gamepad. Why do they have so many New Super Mario Bros. Games? This thing's battery life kind of sucked though. Also, it's a shame how we didn't get to see more limited edition versions of it. As far as I'm aware, the only widely available one was a Wind Waker edition, which I did own, and it was awesome. I mean, it felt like every other day the 3DS got another dope ass edition, and to be fair, it makes sense considering it was carrying Nintendo this generation. Also, the pad was hella comfy to hold and not very heavy at all. Had a very ergonomic design and was definitely a precursor to the Switch we have today. I remember seeing this meme when the Switch was announced. I'm making my own Switch, and this guy took scissors. Very 2017 meme, but it sticks in my mind. This was the shit back in 2014, I promise you. Everyone knows Mario Kart 8 now for its showing on the Switch, but it made its first appearance on the Wii U, and damn, it was great. This was one of the best looking games on the Wii U, and I mean, look at Mario Kart Wii compared to 8. The difference is actually wild. The anti-gravity allowing for track design to be just wild and not have to adhere to like, you know, laws of physics at all, like, you know, Mario Kart always was doing. It was just dope, and the non-Mario DLC was hype as hell. We even got some F-Zero rep in here, which is crazy. The Animal Crossing track was also fire. I thought the Legend of Zelda track could have been a little more inspired, but hey, you get what you get. I can't believe Splatoon's first showing was on the damn Wii U. This was easily one of the games I remember being vividly super excited for. Seeing that original trailer, a Nintendo third-person shooter that was full of color and imagination with wacky music and this dope-ass squid mechanic. When the game finally released, it had a good amount of content too, a whole campaign and a ton of different weapons that all played very differently, and customizables to unlock funny lore that would only be expanded on in subsequent titles as well. As a kid who played a ton of Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, this was my shit. I mean, who expected Nintendo to create a 4v4 team-based shooter? Leave it to Nintendo to make sure it's not a team deathmatch and actually make creative and unique objectives. Of all the games I wish that were not just on their consoles, this franchise would definitely be one of my top picks. So much character and creativity. But like I said, this was one of the games I remember being hyped for. Damn, I actually went to GameStop that day with my grandma to pick up a copy when it released. But there was one game I remember being the most hyped for, and that was... I don't know how many people were there for the hype surrounding Smash 4, but it felt like a ton. Everyone that owned a Wii U was hyped for this game. Playing the 3DS version in anticipation for the peak that would release on the full console. To be honest, looking back, it was kind of crazy how they released 2 Smash 4s, and neither one of them is the definitive Smash 4, with each having their own differences. I remember I lost my shit when I saw Pac-Man was being in this, and Greninja, and I know not everyone unanimously loved this game, considering how floaty and slow it felt, especially looking back now that we have Ultimate. But damn, it was the first Smash game in full HD. It looked amazing. It still looks great to this day, and I feel used more solidified character designs as opposed to Brawl. I mean, Brawl had such a pretty look. It's kind of jarring to look back on. I mean, why did Mario have like denim, man? And don't even get me started about the soundtrack of this game. I remember that Shulk reveal was hype as hell, and then we got DLC, the first Smash game to start DLC, which would go crazy in Ultimate. The return of Lucas, Roy, and Mewtwo, I was super hype about because I didn't play much Melee as a kid, but holy shit, they added Cloud, bro. I remember it was fucking insane, and you know, that was before Bayonetta, but we don't talk about that. Overall, Smash 4 was just fucking awesome, and you had to be there. I'm still surprised they haven't released like a definitive, but honestly, it's really charming, and I love this game to death. I probably got the most hours out of this game. It's probably between this and Splatoon for most hours. Let me just rapid fire a couple games I didn't get the chance to fully talk about, but I still adored playing. Super Mario 3D World. This wasn't Odyssey, but hey, I remember playing a ton of this. Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, it looked great with the HD remake. I'm not counting Breath of the Wild because that came out like at the death of the Wii U. Hyrule Warriors, a surprising introduction to the Warriors series for me. Shovel Knight, this was a great indie platformer. I remember indies started going crazy after this. The Wii U will be one of the consoles I remember with a ton of fondness, as it was my childhood console. I'm just glad that a lot of my childhood games aren't stuck on the graveyard that it is. Almost every game I talked about here got an upgraded port or sequel that made people forget about the OGs and you know where it started. But in the end, the Wii U and all its weirdness will hold a spot in my memories, and I'm glad I got to grow up on this console and, you know, experience the the weirdness that it was. Yo, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy the content, please consider, you know, leaving a sub, leaving a comment. It helps a lot. Yeah, thank you very much for watching all the way to the end. Hey, you guys have a great day, and catch you on the next one. Peace.